Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Whitney with That Whitney Life. This week I have a different video for you. I'm doing some baking. I don't really bake that much. I'm not the greatest baker on the planet. I am more of a cook. I do like to cook a lot, so just bear with me here. I'm dabbling a little bit, but I have recently had this sweet tooth, and if you guys have been following me for a while, I am on Weight Watchers. I'm still doing Weight Watchers, so I wanted to make some desserts that are Weight Watchers friendly. So I succeeded, I hope. They're so good and definitely curves a sweet tooth. So I hope you enjoy. I know it's a little bit different than I usually do. I usually do a lot of crafting, but just to let you guys know, I named my channel what I named it because I didn't want to just do crafting. I want to do kind of all things DIY, cooking, cleaning, not budgeting, organizing on a budget, not budgeting, and some crafting and things like that. So if you guys want to see more cooking and everything on my channel, that just let me know in the comments. Obviously it's going to be more geared towards crafting like it always has been, but I would like to sprinkle in some cooking and things like that. So just let me know if you're interested in that, and let's jump into the video. For this first one, we're going to do a 2-point Blackberry Cheesecake. So go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then grab either a pie pan or a spring form. Either one will work. I prefer the spring form. It's just more ergonomical in my opinion, but whatever you have works. And then take some pan spray and just give it a really good spray. Whether it is non-stick or not, it's still a really good idea to give it a spray. Then I'm going to take this fat-free cream cheese. I got it at Walmart. That's the only place I could find it. So yeah, I mean, if you can find it elsewhere, that's cool. I did 2 blocks of this, and I did let it sit out for room temperature. And then I'm going to take a 0-calorie sweetener. You can use whatever one you like. I usually use Splenda, but I also like stevia and monk fruit. So I'm just going to do 1 cup of that, and then 1 cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. And then I'm going to take some lemon juice and just give it a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. I did a couple squirts because I don't really measure a whole lot of things. That's just me. And then I took some vanilla extract, and I'm just going to do about 2 teaspoons of it. I call a capful a half teaspoon. Again, I don't really measure a lot of things. And then take 1 packet of this cheesecake sugar-free pie filling. Pop that in there, and then you're going to give this a good mix with the beater. And right before it is, you don't want to overmix this. So right as it's just incorporated, I'm going to throw in 3 eggs. Again, you don't want to overmix this, so just mix it until it is just incorporated and not much more. You can always give it a bit of a stir, but you don't want to mix this too much. So once all of that is mixed up, go ahead and put it in your pie pan or cake pan, whatever you are using, and spread it out a little bit. I didn't get it too even, but I found that shaking it helps a lot. So now I'm going to take some sugar-free blackberry preserves, and I'm just going to take a couple tablespoons and put it in the microwave just to melt it down a little bit. And then I'm going to drizzle it over the top of the cake, and then take a knife and just swirl it around just to make it look nice and pretty. This is optional. You can keep it plain, but it doesn't add any points, so it is what it is. Now we're going to make a water bath. And this is just super easy to do. You're just going to boil water and then take a roasting pan. Mine was a little bit small for my my cake pan, but that's okay. It worked fine. And then just put the cake pan. Make sure, what I didn't do here is I didn't cover the bottom of my cake pan with foil. So make sure you do that. I didn't have any issues, but just make sure as a precaution to do that. Then you're going to take your boiling water and carefully pour it in to the roasting pan. The idea of this is the water will never get over 212 degrees, which is boiling. So the idea of it is that it will create a more even, silky texture, like it'll bake more evenly in a water bath. So it's just kind of something that people who bake cheesecake all the time, they do it this way. So I tried it. So go ahead and put it in the oven, and it's going to be at 350 for about, I did it a little bit long, so it's going to show me doing 50 minutes here. I would recommend you doing it for about 35 to 40. Mine was a little bit overcooked. It was still delicious, but definitely 50 minutes for this cake is a little bit too long because it's going to be thinner than if you would make a regular full fat cheesecake. So when you pull it out of the oven, the center should be jiggly. So just be aware of that it's going to seem like it's not cooked all the way through, but it should be that way. And then it will set up in the fridge. Make sure you put it on the counter for about an hour and then put it in the fridge overnight. And you will have a beautiful cheesecake. Oh my gosh, you guys, this was so good. I just topped it with some fat-free Cool Whip and a little bit of chocolate drizzle. Now this next one is going to be like a no-bake oat cheese pie, and they're so good if you haven't had one. And if you didn't notice already, and you will see more cream cheese in this video, I'm a sucker for cream cheese. So I'm going to take 1 block of non-fat cream cheese, 1 cup of unsweetened cashew milk, and then a cup of sugar substitute, and 1 packet of chocolate fudge sugar-free pudding mix, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to go ahead and whip this up really well, making sure that it is a very smooth consistency. It is going to get thick because obviously the pudding is setting up as you're beating it, and then the cream cheese is thick. So it is going to get kind of thick, but we're going to go ahead and add some Greek yogurt to it. And obviously you have to taste it first. I always do that. But I'm going to go ahead and add about a 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, and I'm going to do a little bit of lemon juice as well, just for extra tang. I really like that with my cream cheese, just like that lemon juice with cream cheese. And I added about 2 tablespoons. I wanted mine a little bit sweeter and a little bit creamier as well, so I did add just a pinch, maybe an 1/8 of a cup of sugar, and then just a little tiny bit of cashew milk. Now this is a reduced calorie graham cracker crust. It's not super reduced calorie, so about you can do a 1/12 of this, and that's going to be 4 points, or an 1/8 of it, and that is 5 points. Just fill it up, spread it around, and then you're going to pop this in the fridge overnight. Make sure it's overnight, but 6 hours will do. Overnight is best, and all the flavors meld and everything. And here it is all done. Of course, I put fat-free Cool Whip on it. You can use whipped cream as well. That works. That's a low point topping too. And oh my gosh, you guys, this was so delicious. I have to make it again, and it was so easy. Now this next one, I'm going to make a carrot cake. So preheat your oven to 350. I used about 5 kind of slim carrots. I didn't even have quite 2 cups. You need 2 cups, but I didn't have that. So you are going to want to use thicker carrots, but you know, it worked out great. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel them. This is my little Tupperware. We don't like to throw away our food scraps, so we just fill up a Tupperware and put it in the yard debris because we don't have a compost pile. Eventually, hopefully we'll get a barrel, but we don't have one currently. So we put it in the yard debris in effort to not throw our food scraps away. So just go ahead and peel those. I had 5 of them. 6 probably would have been best, but you know, this is what I was working with. And I just went ahead and grated all of them. Be careful of not grating your fingers. Luckily, I did not do that, but a couple times I was kind of not looking and I almost did. But just please do not grate your fingers. Grate them all the way down. It didn't actually take as long as I thought it was going to. So I don't know if you guys have ever made zucchini bread. That shiz takes forever. You have to grate so much zucchini, and they're not near as easy to grate as carrots. These, it was maybe like a minute or 2 per carrot. There's just a lot of carrots, and my arm was getting a little bit sore. My hand was kind of cramping, but you know, you deal with it for delicious food. And once you have all that done, grab your mixing bowl and your egg beater as well. And then you're going to take 3 eggs and just beat them lightly. I think I beat them too much. The big tip about both of these cakes that I've done is don't overmix. And I think I did that on this one. So you're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 cup of sugar substitute. I chose monk fruit, and then 1 cup of brown sugar substitute. I chose stevia. That's just what my store had. Whatever you want is fine. So I didn't have applesauce, and that's what this recipe called for. So I just did 1.25 cup of milk, and it worked out okay. It was just a little bit thinner than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. It's still delicious. So now you're going to do 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then struggle for an hour to get a baking soda box open, and do 2 teaspoons of the baking soda. And then and this is going to be all in a separate bowl, I should say. I mean, you can obviously see. So, and then you're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I did add clove into mine, and you don't need to do that, but I just did 1 teaspoon of clove. And then I also did 1 teaspoon of ginger. And those are totally optional. In the original recipe, it didn't call for those 2 seasonings, but I should mention the original recipe came from the Pound Dropper, and I will link the website in the description box. So now we're going to combine the wet and dry ingredients and just do it little by little. See, you can tell that mine is a little bit thin. And just before it's completely incorporated, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of low-fat butter and melt it down, stir that in, and then we're going to fold in the carrots. Again, don't overmix this. And take your springform pan or cake pan, whatever you have, spray it down, and then you're going to pop this in the oven for 40 minutes. Mine did go in for a lot longer. It almost took an hour and a half just because my batter was a little bit thin. If you use applesauce, I would imagine that you don't need to do that. So anyways, meanwhile, we're going to make delicious cream cheese frosting. And again, it is 1 block of non-fat cream cheese. I get mine from Walmart. 3/4 cup of sugar substitute. It should be powdered sugar. I didn't have powdered sugar, so I used Splenda because Splenda generally dissolves pretty easily, and it worked out great. And then 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, about 2 tablespoons of cashew milk. Just mix that up really good. And then I did a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And I whipped this pretty good until it was nice and fluffy. So you can see my cake was a little bit dark because I had to cook so long, but this was absolutely delicious. I just frosted it, and oh my gosh, this was so good. The texture of it was a little bit dense. I personally don't mind that because I'm not a big cake fan because of how dry it is, and neither is my husband. So I really like the texture of it, but it wasn't super cakey, but it was still so good. Oh my gosh. So now this next one is going to be maple and turkey bacon muffins. So just take a pan and turn it on to medium-high heat. Make sure you spray the pan. And I took about 10 slices of turkey bacon. I cut them down the center. Here's a little trick. Oh, also, yes, here's a little trick is get a damp towel and put it underneath your cutting board so it doesn't move. But I should have cut it down 4 ways instead of 2 because they're kind of strips rather than little chunks. But regardless, it was really good. So cut those down really well into small bits. And then we're going to crisp them in the pan. And they're going to need to crisp for a decent amount of time. Like I wanted them. Turkey bacon doesn't have that fat to make it crispy. So it does take a little bit. So now we're going to take a 1/2 cup of sweetener. I chose monk fruit. That's just what was next to me. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup of that is Mrs. Butterworth's sugar-free maple syrup. I originally was going to do a 1/4 cup, and then I'm so glad I went with a 1/2 cup. So, and then I put in a teaspoon of cinnamon and also 1 egg. And then I put in 2 teaspoons, I think, of baking powder. Mine is kind of old, so I had to scrape it out. So that's why it looks like I'm putting so much in. Then I went ahead and just beat that. And when it was nice and all incorporated, I took 1 1/4 cup of Kodiak cakes, high protein pancake mix. And then this is optional. You can either do 1 1/2 cups of the Kodiak, or you can do 1 1/4 cup and do a 1/4 cup of wheat bran, that's what I chose. I got a free bag from work, so why not? I like bran muffins. If you don't like bran muffins, don't do that part. And then I'm just going to add probably about a 1/2 cup of water or milk substitute or whatever you want to use, just so it's the consistency of similar to pancake batter. Then I'm going to go ahead and stir in my bacon bits, and then grab your cupcake tin and put some little papers, liners in it, and then you're just going to go ahead and fill it up. This makes 12. You can always make them smaller if you want, but they make 12 normal size cupcake, or not cupcakes. Actually, well, they could be cupcakes. That'd be good. Make some cream cheese frosting on it. I told you, I like cream cheese, guys. I like cream cheese. So go ahead and fill that up, and then you're going to pop it in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending. Mine went for about 30 minutes, but it just depends. You can also do the toothpick test, where you just stick a toothpick in like the biggest one. If it comes out clean, they're done. But this is how they turned out. These are so good. They're high protein, great for a little snack. Here's what the inside looks like. It's not the greatest picture on the planet, but it was so good, you guys. That is everything I have for you in this video. Let me know what you thought. If you're going to try any of them, that carrot cake, definitely a must. So good. So, and let me know if you want to see more of this type of video. I would love to film more of them if that is something that you'd like to see in my channel. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. My Instagram handle is in the description box. Make sure you follow me there. Give a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. God bless.